World War II was the deadliest conflict in human history, and Germany was at the center of its outbreak in Europe. The war reshaped borders, societies, and global politics, and its impact is still felt today. In this video, we will explore how Germany helped start the war, how the fighting unfolded, and how it all came to an end, with a focus on the human cost and the lessons we can learn. After its defeat in World War I, Germany faced harsh peace terms and deep economic problems. The Treaty of Versailles limited its military, took away territory, and demanded heavy reparations. In the 1920s and early 1930s, Germany suffered from high unemployment, inflation, and political instability. Many people felt humiliated and angry, and some began to support extreme political movements that promised to restore national strength and pride. By the mid-1930s, Germany was rebuilding its armed forces and challenging the post-World War I order. The government expanded the Army, Navy, and Air Force, even though this violated earlier agreements. It also began to redraw the map of Europe. Germany first reoccupied the Rhineland, then moved to absorb Austria, and later took control of parts of Czechoslovakia. These aggressive steps were often met with limited resistance from other European powers, which encouraged further expansion. On 1 September 1939, German forces invaded Poland using fast and coordinated attacks on land and in the air. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany, marking the beginning of World War II in Europe. This style of warfare, sometimes called lightning war, combined tanks, aircraft, and infantry to break through defenses quickly and cause confusion. In a short time, Poland was defeated and divided, and the conflict spread across the continent. During 1940, German forces turned west. They attacked Denmark and Norway, then moved against the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. Using rapid advances, they bypassed strong defenses and forced the surrender of several countries in a matter of weeks. By the summer of 1940, much of Western Europe was under German control or influence. Britain remained unconquered and faced a heavy air campaign as German planes tried to weaken its defenses and morale, but Britain did not surrender. In 1941, Germany made another bold move by invading the Soviet Union, opening a vast new front in the east. At first, German armies advanced deep into Soviet territory, capturing cities and causing enormous destruction. However, the invasion faced fierce resistance, harsh weather, and long supply lines. Major battles and heavy losses gradually slowed and then stopped the advance. The conflict in the east became one of the largest and most brutal fronts in the war. As the war continued, Germany also found itself facing powerful enemies in other regions. In December 1941, after Japan attacked the United States in the Pacific, Germany declared war on the United States as well. This decision turned the conflict into a truly global war involving Europe, Asia, Africa, and the world's oceans. The United States, along with Britain, the Soviet Union, and other allied countries, coordinated strategies and resources to fight Germany and its partners. Over time, the balance of power shifted against Germany. In the east, Soviet forces pushed back after major battles and began to retake territory. In the west and south, Allied forces launched campaigns in North Africa and Italy, weakening Germany's position. On 6 June 1944, Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy in France, an operation often known as D-Day. This invasion opened another front in Western Europe and allowed Allied armies to advance toward Germany from multiple directions. By early 1945, Germany was being squeezed from both east and west. Allied bombing had damaged cities, industries, and transportation networks, while ground forces moved steadily closer to the country's heartland. In the east, Soviet troops advanced into German territory, and in the west, American, British, and other Allied soldiers crossed major rivers and approached key cities. Surrounded and outmatched, Germany could no longer sustain the war. In May 1945, German leaders agreed to an unconditional surrender. This marked the end of the war in Europe, often remembered as Victory in Europe Day, or VE Day. The conflict, however, continued in the Pacific for several more months before it finally ended later that year. World War II as a whole lasted from 1939 to 1945 and caused tens of millions of deaths across many countries. Germany's role in World War II was not limited to military campaigns. The war included widespread crimes against civilians, including the Holocaust, in which 6 million Jews and millions of other victims were systematically murdered. These actions left a lasting scar on humanity and led to post-war efforts to establish international laws and institutions to prevent such crimes in the future. Trials and investigations after the war sought to hold leaders and officials accountable for their actions. The aftermath of the war transformed Germany and Europe. Germany was divided into occupation zones controlled by Allied powers and later split into separate states in the east and west. Many cities had to be rebuilt from ruins, and millions of displaced people had to find new homes. International organizations such as the United Nations were created with the hope of preventing future global conflicts. Over time, former enemies worked toward cooperation, reconstruction, and reconciliation. Studying Germany's role in World War II helps us understand how economic crisis, political extremism, and unchecked power can lead to catastrophic war. It highlights the dangers of aggressive expansion, racism, and propaganda, and reminds us of the importance of human rights and democratic institutions. By learning this history, we can better recognize warning signs in our own time and work to build a more peaceful and just world.